Hi Clerks, thanks for giving me some time today. My name is Billy Norden. I'm the Retirement and Financial Education Coordinator for the Reformed Church in America's Board of Benefits Services. I'm going to walk you through a few of the things that I'm doing to help pastors become more financially healthy and how congregations and classes can support them. First and foremost, we've redone our newsletter format. It looks more like the news and resources email that many pastors receive from Christina Taslar. In these new newsletters, there are good visuals, there is a teaser of the content available in each article, and all of the information that's really important for pastors and congregations to know is right there, easy to access. There's no extra links or files to click on, and it's also easier to isolate an important article and share it with peers or colleagues or other churches. You can help us by making sure that those newsletters not only get into pastors' hands, but into elders and lay leaders' hands as well. Another email campaign that you should be aware of are our Fidelity Custom campaigns. These are campaigns designed to get greater engagement from our pastors and lay people into their Fidelity retirement accounts. The reason that this is important is that we find that those who are more engaged on their online accounts tend to save more and prepare better for retirement. So we're doing a number of incentives, including gift card giveaways and other activities to get people to log in to their net benefits account, to select their beneficiary, to find out all of the tools that are available to them, with the hope that they take their retirement planning seriously and that they take that as their personal responsibility. So anytime that you see a Fidelity Custom campaign come through where we're offering gift card giveaways or other incentives for pastors to get online and get into their net benefits account, please help assist us in making sure that they are encouraged to do so and that they get the word. This year was the second annual year for the Board of Benefit Services Ministerial Excellence Fund. These are grants to help pastors get out of debt or completely eliminate debt if possible. This year was even bigger and better. We gave away 59 grants this year of varying degrees. Some were grants for $10,000 for pastors to help get out of debt. Some were $5,000 grants with the opportunity to raise $2,500 more, and we would match that $2,500. And then others received a matching grant of $2,500 if they could raise $2,500 to match those funds. We gave away 59 grants in total, and if all of the matching funds were raised, we would give over $480,000 this year alone to help pastors reduce or eliminate debt. There's a significant piece of the classes that we ask for support from, for those classes that are able to help. Last year, when pastors went to raise funds, they had significant help both from their congregations and from a lot of local classes to raise those matching dollars. This year has been a different story, and I believe it's largely due to the impact that COVID-19 has had on all of us. First and foremost, it seems like pastors were not able to raise funds from their congregations nearly as easily as they were the previous year. That can be a number of things attributed to that. But one of the things that I believe is at stake is that pastors are not physically present with their congregations. Relationships are a bit strained right now, and it becomes much harder to do that fundraising work that is a really relational work. And so many pastors went straight to their classes this year to see if they could find support there for matching funds. This year we also received a higher amount of rejections from classes to help pastors with the Ministerial Excellence Fund. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but there is a fear of scarcity right now, not only with COVID-19, but with denominational strife. What I will encourage you to do as clerks, as you bring these back to your executive teams at your classes, is to consider budgeting for the Ministerial Excellence Fund. Many classes have grantees of the Ministerial Excellence Fund within your classes, and it's not unlikely that you will receive a request for matching funds. Each classes can do this in the best way that they see fit, and they might even ask congregations to partner with them as well. But what we found is one of the barriers is that if the money isn't budgeted, classes have a hard time finding the funds or finding the process to approve the funds when it comes often last minute from our grantees. So what I would encourage you to do is to consider creating a line item in your budget to make funds available that should a pastor in your classes be given a grant from the Ministerial Excellence Fund, that you might have funds to help them match their grant and maximize their debt relief. When classes help a church, it can start a new program, it can revitalize a church for a year or two, but when a classes gives money to a pastor towards the Ministerial Excellence Fund to help reduce and eliminate their debt, It's a life-changing gift. This changes the trajectory of their life and their ministry, hopefully in a healthier way, so that they flourish and the congregations they serve flourish. And finally, in regards to the Ministerial Excellence Fund, I want to encourage you to fill out your paperwork. One year we had a number of pastors apply for the grant, and we had to respond and say, you're not eligible for the grant because you're not a minister or a commissioned pastor in the RCA. And they emailed back and said, yes, we absolutely are. What we found was that the clerks hadn't yet filed the proper paperwork to let us know at Bob's that they were indeed a minister or a commissioned pastor in the RCA. So it is critical that as classes are making these decisions to ordain ministers of word and sacrament or to install commissioned pastors, that we know about it as soon as possible. Another extension of the Ministerial Excellence Fund is something that we're doing for the second year in a row called the Bless Your Pastor campaign. This is another opportunity, usually in the fall and towards the end of the year, where churches have an opportunity to bless their pastor by taking a special offering and giving it as a gift to their pastor. And where Bob's fits into this is that we are able to match funds up to $2,000, again, to help pay off debt. Now, the Bless Your Pastor campaign is a little bit more limited in how Bob's will partner with pastors and churches. We'll pay off debt for student loans and medical expenses only in this case, up to $2,000 per person. However, it's much easier access to these funds. There's no application process. We don't really vet these requests other than we pay out the funds directly to the lender. So a congregation can raise funds for their pastor, and the pastor will match that up to $2,000 to help pay off debt. Or the pastor can use this as an opportunity to invest in themselves. They can put up the $2,000, we'll match it, and we'll pay down the debt directly. There's also a unique element to it this year. We've combined the Frank Williams Fund with the Bless Your Pastor campaign. The Frank Williams Fund is a fund set aside for active ministers who are having health issues and have medical expenses coming up. So rather than being reactive where we pay down debt, we can actually be proactive and pay for medical expenses that are in the moment going forward with the Frank Williams Fund. So that's a new element. So if you have pastors who are undergoing some significant medical issues and there's a need for funding, this can be a great opportunity for that. There's another incentive with the Bless Your Pastor campaign this year as well. For churches who take up an offering for their pastors, whether or not it's to pay down debt or match the funds with us, they can apply for a free $250 Amazon gift card from our friends at the National Evangelical Association. They're partners with our Lilly Grant, and they've offered this to our pastors. So any church that participates and raises any amount of funds to give to their pastor as a gift this holiday season are eligible to receive that $250 Amazon gift card for their pastor as well. This is $100 more than the gift card last year, so it's just a great freebie that can really lift your pastor's spirits during this season, because in my experience, most pastors are frayed and tired right now. This has been one of the most challenging seasons in the ministry of any pastor that I've come across. They've had to be adaptive and creative, and often without the usual support that they have. Pastors are tired and weary, and this Bless Your Pastor campaign, especially this year, is such a great opportunity to remind the pastor that they are loved and supported. And here's why I share this with the clerks especially. At Bob's, we have some information about contacts within the local churches, but you as classes clerks tend to have the best lists, the most active lay leaders who are participating in the life of the church. And this is not something that is easily sent to the pastor and then they send it on to their congregation. Many feel awkward about doing that. So if clerks would pass along this information about the Bless Your Pastor campaign to those lay leaders who can have an impact on actually making this happen for our pastors, that would be very greatly appreciated by us. You really have the ability to help take this from a small campaign to something that really sweeps denomination-wide and lifts up our pastors and shows them that they are loved and supported. I've talked a lot about debt management, and that's what we're helping pastors to do, to get out of debt and become more financially healthy. But we don't want to stop there. We want pastors to become financially confident in their future. We find that when they are confident and have a plan, and they are able to live into that plan, their stress about money lowers, and their ability to flourish in their ministry context rises exponentially, and congregations flourish because of that as well. And so beyond reducing debt, we have a new initiative this year, and we've partnered with an organization called Everence. Everence is actually from the Mennonite tradition, but they offer financial planners who understand ministers specifically. What we found is that clergy often find that they can't afford your standard financial planner, or those financial planners who are willing to take them on don't really know ministers very well. Clergy taxes are complex. The housing allowance is complex. Our retirement plan is complex. And often ministers get bad advice that get them into trouble later on down the road. And so we wanted to find a way to pair ministers with high quality financial planners who know clergy taxes, who know housing allowance, who could give them a sense of confidence and set them up for success in the future. And we found that with Everence. Those financial planners know clergy well, and they know taxes and housing allowance. The fee is high for clergy. It's $1,500 a year to go through your whole basic financial planning process throughout the year. For many pastors, they see that number, $1,500, and they see that that's out of reach, even though they know that they might need something like that. And so what we've done is we've been able to apply Lilly grant funds to help offset the cost. So we're able to pay for half of it, $750 for every pastor. The exciting thing is that many classes have stepped up and said, we will also subsidize the cost by paying a quarter of the fee. So many classes have said, we'll pay for $375, and then the pastor is only left to pay $375. Our goal this year was to get at least 25 pastoral families paired and met with financial planners this year. We met that goal by April. It was very exciting. There is a need and a hunger for this. And so I encourage you who have not participated yet as offering subsidizing funds as a classis to consider it. It's a huge blessing to pastors, a huge blessing that has an impact on them and their ministry. And I'll end with this story. I had a pastor who was looking for classis funds. The classis had actually already given out all of the available funds to help with this Everence fee. And I suggested to the pastor, you might want to consider using some of your professional development funds to pay for part of this financial planning process. And he said, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know how this helps me, but I don't know how this helps my congregation. And what I said to him was that you understanding your finances better, how it works, and especially how your charitable giving fits into all of this, is what every single one of your parishioners needs as well. We all have to deal with money. We all have to learn how to make a budget, to be good stewards, to plan for the future, and to build charitable giving, especially to our churches, into our budget and into our long-term plan. By you growing in this area, you're going to be able to disciple and help so many others in your congregation in this. This is absolutely something that applies to your professional development. And I hope that helps you as classis clerks see as well, that this is not just some special perk for pastors that we're offering. We believe by helping our pastors to grow in this area that it has a significant impact on our churches and our people, and that this changes lives not only for ministers, but for members in the RCA as well. Thank you so much for giving me the time today. I know you have full slates of things to discuss, but we appreciate how you participate with the work of Bob's, and I hope to be in more communication with you in the future as we do this work and this ministry together. Thank you.